brighten your day, throw your troubles away. Sit back and watch Eustace Farmer today. So grab a snack and join the pack. Sit back and watch Eustace Farmer today.
Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Eustace Farmer, and to those of you who watch my videos, you might be thinking I've reached the maximum scale to my craziness. No, that's not the case. When I was a kid, I used to absolutely adore train sets. I actually had a wooden train set like this one, and no, that wasn't the 1800s. Thank you very much. And I also had electric trains, and I played for hours and hours and hours. And even when I became a teenager, I would design these big trainscapes on plywood and even use real-world natural elements like little rocks and glue down soil, all kinds of stuff. And I mean, I've made some pretty incredible stuff. But anyway, I'd like to show you this game because I think it's just charming and endearing, and it's so relaxing to play, yet it does have a few minor little challenges. This game is early access, and in the community hub on the game page, the developer did go to great lengths to tell people that because it's early access, there's going to be bugs, there's going to be things that need to be fixed, and, you know, be warned before you purchase the game. And yes, I said purchase. It's $9.99 American. It's on sale right now for $1 off at $8.99, but if you missed the sale and you're still interested for an extra buck, I mean, you know, big whoop. You know, not that big a discount to really hurt you. I still think even in its current state, it's well worth the buy. They've done a lot of improvement since the first time I played it, and that was probably a couple months ago at least. They've come up with some pretty big updates. It still does have its bugs, but they're far less than before. Now, I just want to go over the menus really quick with you before we get started. You can toggle the music on and off. The music is beautiful. It sounds almost identical to the soundtrack from the movie Up, you know, Disney Pixar, if anybody's familiar with that. But because of copyright reasons, and because, well, you know, over time, if you're playing the game for a while, it can start to drive you crazy a little bit. So I toggle it off. Now, I put it on beautiful for all the ambient occlusion and post-processing, and then resolution scales 100%, and then full screen, an absolute must. One thing I would like to see is when you click on the menu buttons that they stay lit up or change another color just to let you know they're on, and then have your settings save with your game, which currently they don't. So every time you come back in the game, you got to turn off the music, and then, you know, just to be sure, I always tick these. So the controls, they're laid out very simply, but I do think that there are some that you can forget now and then. So you might want to have them handy when you're playing. I did take a screenshot of them because I added another button to the controls down here that they've forgotten to tell people. It's letter B, B as in boy, to uncouple your train cars. Now, this may not sound like a big deal, but when you're driving down a track and you've just come down a big, huge hill, and let's say before the hill you hit that B button by accident and you decoupled your train cars, you can't back up that hill to get them because it's too steep, so you have to reset your train. I will upload my screenshot to my Google Drive, and if you'd like to play the game, you can download it and use it for yourself. So as we go through the video and we're building our little environment, I'll call out the keys that I'm using for you. So here's where you would save and load your game saves. Level select. So you can do free play, and you can do it in a clear environment or a clear night environment. And the clear is basically what you see here. This is just a room of nothing. It's like a beige abyss. And then a night environment is just darker. It's got that dark grayish look to it. I wish there was a night apartment environment though. That would be cool because they've added other elements now that you can place, like fireworks and all kinds of stuff, and it's really cool. And the train, as you see, does have a light. And I like modern apartment because it's got all the furniture, and, you know, hearkening back to when I was a kid again, you can set up your train tracks all over the furniture, down through the floor. You can even drive the train off the tracks on the floor itself. And if you want to put it back on, then you just hold down your letter T as in Tommy button to reset the train back to its starting position on the tracks. Now, once you click Modern Apartment, you're going to get an option to do a series of missions, which is called passengers. And basically, you're going to go build tracks and pick up passengers at a couple different locations. And then the third mission is a timed mission, and they give you 120 seconds to do it. And it's 2 minutes. But the clock starts ticking as soon as you click OK, so you have to plan and build the track to get over to those passengers, place a platform, go get the train and go get them and bring them to their destination. I have yet to pass that mission. To be honest, it sounds like plenty of time, but it's not. I figured out a way to beat it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I don't know if it'll be in this episode, but in another episode, I'm going to show you how to beat it. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll select Modern Apartment and Passenger, and now we'll hit play. Passengers will appear around the room. Open the toy box and drop a platform close to where they are waiting. Press K to skip the tutorial. We'll skip the tutorial because I already know how to do it, and I'm going to walk you through it. So to place your track, you just hover that circle over the area. You press your left mouse button to place it. If you made a mistake, you can hit your right mouse button to remove it, or undo it actually. It's called undo. If you want to really remove it, you can press C. And that's good because in this update now, you can remove sections of track anywhere, whereas before that was not possible. These arrows are showing the direction in which your train will travel, so you can switch directions of a particular piece of track. So I want to make sure that the green is highlighted, and now we'll be going in this direction. Just place a few here. Now, another thing, if you hold down your Alt key, either the left or the right one, it doesn't matter, you'll get alternative placement. So this is if you want to make a switch. Now, another thing is, in relationship to your camera, you can use your mouse wheel to scroll back to go up, scroll forward to go down, just like pushing the stick on an airplane. Or you can use your Q and E keys on your keyboard. Q will bring you down, E will bring you up. Just remember E for elevate. And then you kind of finagle it a little bit in between to get it even. So let's see. If we go here, I find that placing the track first before doing the platform is easier, because then you can place your platform in the space that's left over and it won't interfere with the tracks. I think we're going to have to go up a little bit maybe, or even down. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to have to go down. It would also be nice if they gave you like a ghost track here. Like if I hover my mouse over here, I could see where my track would wind up before I place it. Because if you get it wrong, you have to delete everything going backwards. Okay, so I was wrong. We have to go up. So let's go E for elevate one time. Now let's see what that does. Let's make sure that it brings us flush. Now see, that's too high. So let's see, maybe I had it right. Let's just go straight on. There we go. Now you'll notice I'm kind of plunking them down rather slowly. I found that if you really go, ballistic, trying to, do this at breakneck speed, it can get a little glitchy. Sometimes you do it and the track will appear beside your laid track, and then it won't go back where it needs to be, and you have to actually close the game and come back. Okay, so we'll come around here, around the radiator. We're not going to go over the radiator because we can use that another time. And I think maybe right about here, and we're going to have to start coming up after this one, I think. I think that should do it, but I might be a little far off. Yeah, let's go one level more. There we go. Now we'll E for elevate. Come right over the arm of the couch. Now over here, we're going to have to click that one, and then we're immediately going to have to go down one, and then down again. It's not the best scenario, but it's going to enable us to get a clear shot to the station. And then here, let's see, maybe we can come up from here. Then we'll have to bump up again, E for elevate, E again, and let's see. Now you can adjust the height of your camera, like once I get it up here, we'll click that one here, come around the bend, and then here, and we're gonna have to come down one, so Q to go down. Okay, so there's all our track laid down. So let's go ahead and put our platform. So to do this, let me zoom out a little here. You're gonna hit G. G is in George for your toy box. And if you can't see all the icons here, you just decrease the size up here so you can see them. And then you can, of course, scroll up and down. Okay, so the train platform. So I already know that the large train station is too big for in front of the TV. So we're going to select the regular platform. Now you can see this shadowed grid. If I press number 2 on my number row on my keyboard, not my number pad, but the number row, you can change the placement grid size and make it very fine. Right down to next to nothing. There's like little asterisks there. Now this is great for placing finer objects, but it can get a little bouncy because it's, you know, much smaller area to be defined. Let's place it right about here. There we go. And all the little people are going to run up there. Now, if the people are in the way when you're placing your platform at any given time, don't worry, just plunk it down on top of them, and as soon as you do, they'll come up there. So let's go back in the toy box, and let's put some stuff out just to dress it up a little bit, shall we? So we could put like a little clock over here, clock tower. There we go. So let's see what else we got here. Let's do a sign. We need a sign. So let's call this TV station. Isn't used as clever. Not. So here's our sign. I use the R key to rotate, and it only rotates one way. So if you miss, you have to keep pressing and go all the way back around. So let's put it right about there. There we go. And let's see. When it's nighttime out, they're going to need lights. So let's give them some lights, shall we? And then maybe some by the steps, because we don't want any liabilities. We don't want them tripping and falling. And we just plain don't want them to get hurt. We don't want them to splinter. Our little wooden friends here. Okay, so we got lights. I have an idea. Let's put some fencing, just little pieces along the tracks here. Just as they're walking up the steps, if they fall, they won't land on the tracks. And let's put it right there. Well, let's see. Right about there. It's not going to be perfect, I don't think. My OCD. There we go. Just a couple pieces. And then maybe one or two over here. And going around these angles, it'll do a straight corner, but to kind of get it at an angle, 45 degree, you can't, because it kind of whips every time you hit the key. Let's dress it up a little more. How about a fairy tree? It's got little orange dreidels hanging off of it. We'll put you out here. We don't want to scratch the TV screen, do we? The clock tower needs lights. Maybe one here, here, and here. Let's have a party with the lights, shall we? So how about we put bushes along the corners? Our little wooden bushes. There we go. Where else can we put some bushes? Let's do some bigger ones. We got these here. So we'll put a bush here. Put a couple of pine trees in here, shall we? There we go. All right, so now we've got our track all laid out. I think it's looking pretty good. Really not happy with this little bumpity bump things going on over here, but I don't really think there's anything we can do about that. I'm going to press T just quickly one time. Now we're in the train. To go left or right, obviously on this closed track, we won't have to steer it. It'll just follow it. But if you're coming up to a train switch, you're going to want to hold either your A or D key, depending on which direction you're turning. Just hold it before you get to the switch, and it will go in that direction. And this over here on the right is your speed stick, which controls your forward and backwards by pressing your W key to go forward. And you'll see the light turns green. You press your S key to go backwards, and it'll turn red to let you know you're going backwards. And it goes out when there's nothing going on. You can hold your space bar to put on the brakes, and it'll come to a stop. And also you can see, as you're going along, the needles do move. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and let's pick up our passengers. Now if I hit while I'm in the train, let me slow down a little first. My number 2 key and number 1 keys, that'll change my views. So here's an overhead view. Here's a side view. And I stopped a little short. Bad train driver. And look at them, they're in such an impatient hurry. You're not supposed to be getting on the train until it stops. So there's this side view. Press it again, you've got a free camera mode. This camera mode, this free mode, can get a little wonky. Sometimes it will appear like way in the other side of the room or out from under the couch, so it's a little weird. But I like the inside view, so let's use that. Let's go ahead and get rolling here. Something also is, I think they did the distance blur a little too much. Some of that should be more clear. It's a little too blurry. Okay, let's slow her down a little bit. There we go. Got it on the mark this time. Excellent. All right, everybody. So I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. I think the key to keeping these videos even remotely interesting for you is to keep them kind of on the short side. Little doses. Now, if you have some little ones in your house, have them sit down and watch the video and see what they think. They might get a kick out of it. And I hope you did too, because I want you to remember something. You don't stop playing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop playing. So until next time, please take great care of yourself, okay? And bye-bye for now. Oh, Jen, darling, would you like to come watch Eustace Farmer with me?
Sorry, dear, I have wash to do.
You just did laundry this morning, but okay. Well, at least I can count on all of you to join me, can't I?